Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to write a recursive logic to check whether a given number is present in an array or not. So basically, the signature is going to look something like this, that you will have to return a boolean response, and let's call it as is present, and its inputs will be an array and a number. So let's call it as num. So let's first of all try to see how we will solve this using iteration. So using iteration, it's pretty straightforward. You will just write a loop, run the loop from 0 until the length of the array, and check for each element whether it is equal to the target number or not. If at any point you see that the given current element is equal to the target number, you will return 2. Otherwise, you will keep traversing, and if you have traversed the whole array and did not find any match, in the end you will return false. So let's take an example and see how we can solve this recursively. So let's say that our array looks like this. Let's say 5, 3 and 0, and let's mark the indices value as well, 0 and 2, 3, 4 and 5, and let's say that the number basically that I have to find is 3. Okay, so as you can see, the length of this array is 6. It has 6 elements inside it. So let's try to get back to our basics of recursion. So what we try to do in recursion, we try to break down our bigger problem into a smaller problem. So here, what is our bigger problem? So our bigger problem is that in an array of length 6, I have to find the given number, which is 3. So now how do I break down this problem? So let's say I had to traverse the array from 0 index to 5th index and find 3. So now how I will break this down is, I will say if I can somehow find out if the value is existing from index 1 to 5 or not. If I can somehow get this value, so basically I broke this array from here, and I am saying that please tell me, is the value present starting from index 1 and ending at index 5. If it is present or not, basis on that I will decide my overall solution. And how will I decide that? So either if here this value is existing, basically if the function value is true for this, then I don't need to do anything else. I can straight away say that yes, this value is present, so I will return true. But let's say that this value is not present there, which means that from index 1 to 5 the value 3 is not present, which means my recursive call has returned me false. So but in this case, can I straight away say that my whole array is not having this value? No, I cannot say that, because I have not processed the element at array of 0. So what I will do is, I will just check whether this element is equal to 3 or not, and basis on that I will decide whether I have to return true or I have to return false. So if array of 0 will be equal to 3, then I will say that yes, my array does contain this value that we are looking for. But if array of 0 is also not equal to 3, and my recursive call also said that this value 3 is not present in 1 comma 5 also, basically that any element from index first to index 5 is not 3, then I can confidently say that no element in the array is of value 3. Then in that case I will return my overall solution as false. So let's try to see how this will look in the code. So let's get back to our editor. First of all, let's write down the signature of our function. It will return a boolean. Let's call it as is present. It will take as input an array, and let's call it as target. So basically I have to return whether this target is present in this array or not. So first of all, let's just write a simple iterative function for it. So I will go from 0 to less than array of length, array dot length, and I will process each element, and I will check if array of I is equal to target, then I will straight away return true. Otherwise, if I am not able to find any element which matched, then I will return false. So let's comment these statements from our previous tutorials, and let's create an array with values 2 4. Let's use the same values 2 4 1 5 3 0 1 5 3 0, and let's try to see if this is working fine or not. So let's say that I'm trying to find value 3 here. Now let's see, is it working fine or not. So it's returning true as 3 is present in the array. Let's, just to be safe, check for 7, which is not there in the array. Yes, so it is returning false. So now let's try to write this recursively, how this will look recursively. So the signature will remain the same. Let's call it as is present recursive. It will also take as input an array, and it will take as target. So now let's get back to our explanation for once. So basically what I had said was, that you had to search in 0 comma 5 the value 3. Cool. And then I will make a recursive call for 1 comma 5 and 3. Then this will make a call for 2 comma 5 and 3. So now the problem with arrays is that you can't easily break down the arrays. Basically you can't remove any value from it very easily. Any one element remover is pretty difficult. Like I can't just go ahead and remove 2 and pass on the rest of the array to my recursive call. So what I will do is I will pass a pointer which will denote that which is the current element that I am processing. So initially that will be pointing here, then in the next call it will be pointing here, then it will be pointing here. So it will keep going on like this. Eventually at some point it will go outside the array. That will help us decide our base condition. So what I can do, I obviously cannot change the signature of this function because this is what the client has asked me to implement, but I can create a utility function or a helper function for myself. So let's just call it as is present recursive helper. So that will also have an array, that will get an array, and it will have an index. So this index will basically be this value, which basically denotes which element are you currently processing. So now what will be my base condition? What can be the maximum value for this index? So assuming that I will start from the beginning, that is from the 0th index, so my maximum value can be equal to array.length minus 1. As soon as I run out of that, it means that I have exhausted the array and I don't have anything to match against now. So my base condition will become, if index is now equal to array.length then there is nothing for me to search in, the array has been exhausted, so I will directly return false. Otherwise, what did I do? I will break this down and let's call it as small result. So I will search for this value in the rest of the array. And how will I do that? I will pass the same array, I will pass the same target that is to be searched, and I will just pass index plus 1. Now I know whether this value is present in the rest of the array or not. Basis on that, I will decide what I have to do. So if small result is equal to true, then I don't need to do anything, I can directly return true. Otherwise, if I was not able to find this given target value in the rest of the array, then I will have to check whether the current value, current element, which is array of index, is equal to target or not. If it is not equal to target, if it is equal to target, in that case I will return true. Otherwise, I have matched all the elements but I still did not find any match, then I will return false. So now this is how my helper will look like. So now let's get back to our main function. How will that make a call? So it will not do anything, it just needs to start processing the array from the very beginning. So it will make one call, it will pass this array directly, this target directly, and it will say that please search for me starting from index 0. So now let's try to see if this is working fine or not. So is present recursive. So let's see if it is able to find 7 in this given array or not. Okay, so we mistyped the boolean here. So let's save this again and compile it again. Okay, so it's saying it cannot compare ints with boolean. Okay, so we have done something wrong here. Yeah, so we have marked this as integer when in reality it's a boolean value, because this function is returning a boolean, not an integer. So now we are able to compile it. So it's returning false. So let's just check once for a value that is present in there. So let's see for 0, which is present at the last index. Yep, so it's returning true. So basically, if you see here, this becomes our base condition. Here we broke into smaller problem. And here we used it to create overall solution. Overall solution, basically this line number 26th and line number 30th, these two statements are basically doing the combined work of creating the overall solution. So this is also well and good, but as you can see that this code now has a lot of if conditions, a lot of checks are there. So now I just want to say that basically it's not necessary that you have to make the recursive call beforehand. We can actually flip this process and we can process the current value first. So what we can do is we can straight away go here. Before breaking down the solution, we will check the current value. So the base condition will remain same. Now first we will check the current value, current index. Is current index equal to target? Then we will return true. So now if this is not true, which means that the current index is not equal to the target value, then obviously whatever will be the result of my remaining array, that will be my overall solution. So in that case I can directly return this part. And I can get rid of all this. So basically what I did was, I just, before making the recursive call, I checked for the current element. Is current element equal to the target or not? If it is equal, then I will return true. But if it is not equal, I need to check in the rest of the array. So I have just flipped the process, and whatever is the answer from the recursive call, that will be my overall solution. So let's just save this and see if this is working fine or not. so it is still returning true, which is expected for 0. Let's search for 7. Now it should return false if our logic is correct. Yeah, so it is returning false. So as you can see, by flipping the recursive call with the with the processing of the current element, we are able to reduce the branching in the code. So branching is nothing, basically how many if condition, how many deciding conditions are basically being introduced in the code. So by flipping these conditions around, we can make our code cleaner. So that's it from this video. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you guys.